What's up, guys, and welcome back to the next game, Invitational. This is game 2 between TNC and Team Satu Dua Tiga, or just 1, 2, 3, because that's just a whole lot easier. Game 1 went to TNC, picking up a techies. They played the stall game, they played the slow game, the glacially slow game, and SDT just could not break them. They could not handle the techies split pushing, and, well, they handled the mines okay. I don't think anyone really died to mines, at least not very often, but, that's just only step 1 to deal with the techies. You got to deal with the rest of the TNC side as well. So we'll see if SDT can bring it to a game 3 here in this game 2. I'm Mikelorus, going to be one of your casters for today. Danelie is also on the line, and well, it looks like it's going to be Clinks to be banned out, this time by TNC. There's a lot of respect, at least from TNC, with this hero.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Yamate is... no, was it Yamate or Ben? Because I remember when they used to be in G-Guard that they would run the Clinks occasionally. So it would have been an okay hero for 123 to pick up if they wanted to, but I like how TNC just threw a little bit of a respect ban out just in case that 123 wanted to pick it up themselves. 123, on the other hand, they're being very, very protective of that Drow Ranger. They're saying, no, we are not giving you that Drow Ranger. We know it's a significant hero for you, TNC, so you cannot have this hero. Instead, though, looks like we're going to get some standard heroes. Leshrac and Earthshaker for 1, 2, 3, whereas TNC are going to pick themselves up a Queen of Pain and Clockwork. So, pretty open draft so far. No major tactics really thrown about as of yet.
Nothing weird like the second pick, Clinks, coming out from TNC last game, which ultimately did end up working, but I still maintain was not the correct second pick. Queen of Pain, Clockwork, it's, I mean, you get the offlane, and you get one of the stronger offlanes at that. Queen of Pain's matchup versus Leshrac, as far as, you know, heroes that can match up against Leshrac, Queen of Pain, not exactly the one you want, but also not a terrible one. However, once Leshrac gets a little bit of Earthshaker help, Fissure into Split Earth, Lightning, it may not always be enough to kill off the Queen of Pain, but it may sometimes be enough, and Queen of Pain doesn't have any similar response into Leshrac. They'll need to pick up like a Rubik Lina combo, something powerful like that, if they actually want to rotate in and kill the Lesh. And these bans, what is going on? Pugna and Huskar? Sure, why not?
If someone wanted to pick up a Huskar, then I guess they could take a note out of MVP Hot6's book. Who knows? It's an interesting hero. I've seen a couple of teams experiment with it. I think Hot6 is the only successful team I've seen really play with a Huskar, so who knows? Maybe they've been scrimming with each other and someone likes to pick up a Huskar. Winter Wyvern can be the third pick up for TNC. They're very solid support and pretty scary hero as well. You don't want to underestimate the Winter Wyvern. Just keep in mind, though, that the Cold Embrace is not really going to do anything against a Leshrac, because Leshrac is predominantly going to be doing magical damage with the Pulse Nova.
So that restriction may make it so that this Wyvern not as impactful as other games, but still it is a lot of slow. It has a point click disable once you get a little bit down the line with that level 6 or level 11. Not really, again, great versus Leshrac for right now, so I think maybe TNC could have held on to this pick for a little while longer just to, you know, gauge the field, see if Winter Wyvern is truly the hero that they want to grab. Not really a great hero at ganking Leshrac either. You can give a little bit of help to the Queen of Pain at level 1 just by dumping an Arctic Burn into the Leshrac, and that will force out a couple of regen. A couple tangos, maybe even a salve of Queen of Pain helps out, who knows, but it's a solid pick that may or may not restrict 123's picks down the line. Right now, they don't really want to be going for a purely physical damage draft, and they have the Leshrac already, so it's not going to be the case, but the Skywrath Mage now picked up. I actually kind of like the response to the Winter Wyvern. It's a silence, first of all, for Queen of Pain, so another answer as far as that is concerned, but for Wyvern, if one of his allies, one of her allies is going to get embraced and try to heal it up, then you just drop a Mystic Flare on him, and Mystic Flare will out-damage the heal of the Winter Wyvern.
I think to a certain extent, you got to remember, if it's going to be someone tanky, then you might out-heal it by a tiny bit, but still, it's a great hero to play up against the Winter Wyvern. It's going to give a lot of utilities to 123, so they have a silence, they have a massive damaging ult, and they also have a slow to work with. So if you look at 123's draft, the amount of control they have is phenomenal. They've got 2 stuns, they've got 2 slows, they've got a lot of damage. TNC are going to go for another icy support, but this time in the form of a Lich. They're kind of lacking on Disable. That's mostly the Winter's Curse from the Winter Wyvern, as well as the Clockwork with the Hookshot and the Cogs, but they have a lot of magical damage output if you think about it. They also have the Chain Frost to work with now, which interesting spell, but I don't think it's really going to hurt 123 because they have a lot of ranged heroes that don't really have to get into the fray.
Scarith Mage can peel away very far away. Earthshaker will get a Blink Dagger, so there are some situations where he'll be right in the middle of everything, but before that, just really far away with the Fissure, and that's about all he will do, keep a safe distance. This seems like TNC are, kind of really scared about physical damage. Like, this is usually where Lich is picked up if your lanes really need a hard babysit hero. The Ice Armor, of course, it is armor, so it blocks physical damage, yet SDT don't really have that much. Between the Lich and the Witch Wyvern, both kind of anti-physical heroes, SDT can look for a little bit more of a magic-based draft, and they already have a good start with Lishrak and Scarith Shaker. A pretty good follow-up to that. If they wanted to SDT, they could go for something, again, like Alina as a core hero, or I don't even know what else they could go for, but try to minimize the physical damage that they're putting out. There we go, a Viper. He does do some pretty good physical damage, but if you get the Aghanim Scepter, if you just sit in the front and tank everything, then TNC's physical damage is also kind of lacking. This Corrosive Skin is going to do work.
One thing to note, though, with 1-2-3's draft, it doesn't go late. You have an Earthshaker, you have a Scarith Mage, you got two supports that they will do decently if they can get items, but if they do not get any sort of items and it goes late, these supports become purely utility. A Viper, I've never ever seen a Viper hard carry into the late game. He's just become that frontline tank that just soaks up all the damage, and he's just annoying. Leshrac as well. I think Leshrac is probably the best hero on the side of 1-2-3 to really scale into the late game. So if TNC wants to go into the super late game, then they absolutely could. But what tools do they have, or what heroes are left that can take them into the super late game?
5 seconds remaining.
How sweet would a Huskar be right now? You get the magic resistance, you get the armor, you get the physical resist.
Please, please.
SDT, they were next leveling TNCs. They knew what they wanted, and TNC they couldn't change their path. It was too late. But seriously, like they don't have to worry about too much physical damage coming out from the SDT side. They don't really need a hero with a ton of armor. That's not really something that they're looking for right now. TNC just need a carry, and at this point, and they could go for like an anti-mage, just get the magic resistance that way, and then get the armor from your allies, and then how do you kill them off? Yeah, they have the Skywrath Mage, they have the Shaker, they have Lishrak. That's a decent crowd control suite, but it's actually going to be Bloodseeker to be banned out, Broodmother conversely banned on the TNC side. SDT can just grab like a Darkseer, or that's probably the safest offlaner for them to grab at this stage, but I'm more to see what TNC are going to grab for their last pick.
Reserve time.
I was thinking anti-mage would have been the best one as well. I want to actually talk about this Bloodseeker last ban from 1-2-3. Is Bloodseeker really worth the ban? Is it just a special hero in this game?
No, I mean, he's been seeing a lot of play recently. Now you've been kind of out of the loop for a little bit. It's not really a great hero versus Viper. It's not really a fantastic hero versus Lishrak. And all this CC, all these barriers, will situationally make this Bloodseeker's life very difficult. I think they probably are just banning it out because they don't know what TNC are going to go for, and you might as well just, ban out the quote-unquote strong hero. But aside from that, I think SDT would have had enough to comfortably deal with the Bloodseeker.
So with that in mind, just trying to think of a couple of heroes that would probably be viable. Did we see Morphling ever again? Or Anti-Mage? Hello, Anti-Mage. Anti-fun.
You did it.
That's gonna be a long game.
We guessed it, guys. Anti-Mage farming. It's a good hero versus Lishrak for sure, and you could pop a Skywrath Mage. If he drops a Mystic Flare and you just instantly Mana Void him in response, that is quite a bit of damage even onto someone like Viper, who, if he gets hit with the spill, will still be taking quite a beating. So SDT, again, they should be looking for a little bit more of a safer play here, but TNC, they definitely have their plan pretty much set out before them.
Remaining.
Sit back, get the anti-mage farm, and get hookshot kills when you can, get sonic wave kills when you can, but other than that, it's going to be up to the 1-2-3 side to actually crack the TNC map, and last game they really didn't do a great job at that, so maybe they're going to struggle again. They got to go aggressive, maybe even go for a Doom.
Ooh.
Now that's some anti-mage tech, some old anti-mage tech if I ever did see it.
Why do we never see this hero anymore? He's still a good hero.
I don't think so. I think he's crap. I thought he was always crap. Ever since he was picked up first, I'm like, this hero sucks.
I like the hero. He just adds that dynamic into Dota. You do one hero. Fun.
Wow, that was so worth picking up this hero just to get that skill. I'm not going to deny that Doom's ultimate, like his namesake skill, is a very powerful ability. The problem comes when after he uses it, then it's like, well, I'm done, guys. That's all I got. I'm pretty tanky and everything, but can't really do that much after. I have never really had respect for this hero, but up against an anti-mage, it is a reasonable response. However, I think the best time to pick Doom at this stage is when the enemy team has, you know, the Storm Spirits, the Anti-Mages, those super mobile heroes, and you don't have any stuns. You're like, oh, well, shit, I need to get something that's really hard CC. The Lion is banned out, can't get that one. But this time they do have quite a bit to actually deal with this Anti-Mage as far as crowd control is concerned, so I'm not convinced about this Doom, especially if Doom is going to end up going versus the Clockwork, which may or may not be the case, but we'll see as they load out into their lanes. Guys, Kang is going to be playing the Doom for the 123 side. Minerva is going to be playing the Scarith Mage with 343 on the Shaker. That leaves Yamate to be playing the mid lane Leshrac, and up towards top, Ben is going to be playing the Viper, one of the heroes that I feel like he plays the most, although numerically I'm not completely sure.
I actually really like how TNC is doing their lane so far. So on the side of TNC, playing on the Queen of Pain, we're going to have Sam H. It looks like he's going to be taking her into the off lane because he's gone for Tango, Salve, as well as a Ring of Protection. He's going to be taking the Anti-Mage into the mid lane, which I feel this is going to be a very interesting mid matchup. We have Noji playing on that Lich. Still up towards this top section, we have EU playing on that Clockwork. And lastly, we've got on our Winter Weapon, we have 7.
Oh, Fissure gonna miss, and that should let Noji get away. They're gonna try to work him down with right clicks. If they had one more, they could have gotten him. Oh, that's usually not gonna happen from a Shaker. You just throw the Fissure pretty defensively even, with the primary goal being to wall off, secondary goal being stun. If you stun him, fine. If not, who cares? But that should have been first blood for 123. Instead, Lich gets to stumble back to the fountain. He will be able to get back up to full. It is going to be, as you said, Anti-Mage looking to go towards the mid lane. This is not a matchup that I have actually seen before, however, or just Anti-Mage versus Leshrac. However, if it is going to be Anti-Mage with the Lich's help, then the lane gets actually pretty decent. Looks like 7 will be sticking around at least for an Arctic Burn. Just gotta dump that damage into Yamate, see what harassment you could put out. It's not a bad amount of damage with just one skill cast, dropping Leshrac down to half HP. But similarly, Minerva is here with the Arcane Bolts, and it's a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, but Teehee doesn't have Spell Shield, and even if he did right now, just the threat of Lightning Storm and Split Earth is something that Anti-Mage really has to worry about, not to mention the fact that he's melee and his 2 opponents are ranged.
It'll be okay in the mid lane for TNC, as long as they just have Noji there with the sacrifice, it's going to be in a favorable position for Teehee, so if they can just keep this up, it should be fine for TNC. Let's take a look at the other lanes though, aside from this really pressured mid lane. Up top we have a 2v2 here, and it's a Viper Earthshaker versus a Queen of Pain. And is it just the Queen of Pain? Oh no, we just have the Winter Weapon doing the pulls. It should be okay for Sam H. He should not die in this top lane unless he gets a little bit too overconfident and maybe goes for an aggressive blink. So for TNC up in the top lane, they'll be fine. Down bottom though, Clockwork, he's up against 2 heroes? Or is it just one? Just one. Just one. Oh my goodness, I'm blind, but it's fine. Clockwork beats most heroes in a one-on-one matchup, and Doom should be no exception.
Already we see Doom with no mana, which is always an awkward place to be. This guy isn't incredibly smart, although his intelligence growth isn't too bad. As long as the cogs continuously land on Kang and deny the Doom's Devour, then the hero gets so much worse, like unbelievably so bad. So AU should have a free lane here. Like, as you said, Clockwork versus Melee is a Clockwork favored matchup, and Doom is without mana and therefore can't really do that much. However, 7 is going to hit with some lightning, and he's going to take quite a bit of damage. Fissure is going to hit him as well. He's going to land into the trees, and that Scarith Mage is going to grab the kill. With everyone from 123 rotating in, I don't really know what the Winter Weapon's goal there was, but I'll tell you one thing, it wasn't a success. So first blood being drawn by 123, not on the Lich, but on the Wyvern, and they will go right back to the mid lane, where Yamate is going to keep throwing this harassment towards Teehee. That's a lot of damage for the Anti-Mage. Please tell me he has a bottle coming out. He is going to get it, but right now he's completely out of his tangos. He burned through his salve already. This is a rough lane for an Anti-Mage. Even with the sacrifice, this is not going to help the Anti-Mage actually get a ton of farm, while at the same time not being harassed. It's he's either going to get harassed and get farm, or get nothing and get some experience. And either way, it's not a good situation for an Anti-Mage.
It's okay though, if you think about it though. Teehee, he's actually very good at farming in this mid lane, even when he was behind. So you take a look at last game, he was playing on a... He's doing fine in this mid lane. Even though he's got 7 CS, you've got a couple of other heroes that 123 has to deal with past the 10-minute mark. It's not going to be the anti-mage, it's going to be that Queen of Pain and Clockwork, because those two heroes together plus the supports. Look at 123, a lot of their heroes are squishy too. So lots of kill potential for TNC once they get those other two heroes online. And Sam H as well as EU are getting space. So it's looking okay for TNC, even though the anti-mage is taking quite a bit of harassment in the mid lane.
I guess the alternative is you put anti-mage up towards top and he has to deal with a Viper, which is also not super fun. However, he's going to get silenced, stunned as well. The amplification should kill him off. They're going to try to go for this Yamate kill, but they will fall short there. Anti-mage getting into a fist fight with Leshrac. That's, I don't know, call it kind of bold, but down towards bottom lane. AU's going to catch Kang, this time in the cogs. No mana burn needed. He gets the kill pretty clean on that Doom down towards bottom, making a 1-for-1 trade across the map. And this is going to be a situation where TNC are once again going to have a hero that is behind where they want to be. Last time it was Clinks. This time it looks like it might be the Anti-Mage. However, the other heroes are still doing rather well, Queen of Pain and Clockwork. So these two heroes have to step it up in the mid game and try to buy Anti-Mage that time to farm and try to recover.
Don't forget though, Anti-Mage is also one of the best heroes to come back into the game. He farms stacks really well, so for Teehee to be this behind, it's absolutely fine. But just copying the harassment from Yamate just must be annoying for him, because he's not able to get the CS, but he's getting EXP, and that's pretty much all he can get for the moment. But look at Noji copying all that lightning damage, and looks like Doom managing to get a counter kill on that Clockwork, but that was also with the help of Minerva on the Scarith Mage. So good counter plays for 123 to help Kang get back into that bottom lane. Up top though, we still have Sam H as well as Seven doing what they're doing best, but Ben just taking a little bit of damage, 3-4-3 in the tree line. He's sitting there waiting for someone to go for an overextensions, but TNC, they're just going to play safe. They're not going to try and go for any kills at this point.
123, you get a pretty nice kill on the Clockwork with that rotation. The Doom definitely did need that extra bit of assistance. Now AU, he's level 6 super early on, only 5 minutes in. He's looking for a target. If he can get on top of the Earthshaker, he's a happy camper. He'll settle for the Viper, obviously, but hookshot going to go towards the Viper. Blink in from Sam H as well, and Ben is completely without hope. In fact, 343 not even going to bother throwing out a fissure there. So it's a very easy kill there for the TNC side. And AU going to get his first kill with the first hookshot on the Viper, who has been farming very well. So that's exactly the scenario you want to find yourself in as a Clockwork. And if you keep this pace up, then TNC will look to recover. But again, TNC, this is not going to be them getting kills with the intention of ending the game. They want to just get the Anti-Mage farm. They want to just take this to the late game, and that is consistent with the fact that this Queen of Pain is going to go for a Hand of Midas. That's not an item you see all the time. It, however, will be a super fast item pickup in the Midas, so, you know, it's, if you get a Midas that early on anyone, that's fine, but Teehee in a little bit of trouble. Split Earth will instantly give him over in mid. And, yeah, without that Lich there to actively help him out with that sacrifice, he will very quickly lose the control of the lane. Sam H is going to get a lot of acceleration, however, so, again, is this worth having the Anti-Mage struggle? It seems like it's still undetermined, but will be determined within the next couple of minutes as Queen of Pain does kick into gear. Now going towards Kang. Doom is going to slow down the Queen of Pain's damage, but still Kang taking a lot right now. There is a Scarith Mage incoming. Sam H does to be denied right now. He's going to get embraced, but the bolt will kill him off. And now Seven's in an awkward position right now. It looks like they don't have any additional CC here. No, they do. The Shaker is a little bit far away, actually. Has 2 mana away from a fissure. They know that Seven's in a corner. It will connect, and that will get Minerva a double kill. However, now Minerva is just going to die, so might as well buy out. He gets an urn, he gets TP scrolls, and the creeps will eventually do him in.
My dreams.
A very slow death, but still, it was a very nice death for the Scarith Mage. The fact that they were able to get those 2 really high priority kills, and that was also with the Queen of Pain that's supposed to be picking up that Midas. He's got the Midas now, but you want to be farming with that for your first item as soon as possible. So with that death, it's going to slow down his farm a little bit. Thankfully, for the Queen of Pain, though, it's not on cooldown. So at least he's going to have that online relatively soon for the next charge. In the mid lane, though, we still have Yamate doing a world of hurt to anybody that comes in the mid lane for TNC. I feel that they have to deal with the Leshrac at some point because he's just blowing up in terms of farm. You look at his farm, he's sitting on a point booster, boots, bottle, and got 700 gold on top of that 7 minutes into the game. That's scary farm for any mid laner.
Hookshot going to connect. Even though they saw him with the Observer Ward, they're going to rotate a couple heroes in. AU now going to get silenced. Yamate taking a lot of damage, but won't die just yet. Teehee can't really help out here either, and AU is overcommitted. He's going to go down first as Scarith Mage does draw that kill. Now they're looking for 7. They have no more fissure, and they don't have enough range to actually connect into anyone. The hookshot would have worked if there's a Queen of Pain there. Like, that's the whole point. You hookshot in for Queen of Pain's damage. You don't hookshot in for Winter Wyvern's damage or Lich's damage. That's nothing to write home about. So Clockwork kind of biting off way more than he could chew. And that was, I guess, in the end, just a bait from the Leshrac. With a point booster, he is kind of tanky at this stage. 900 HP is a lot more than Leshracs usually have. And they will continue just rolling onwards. I think 123 they are getting at the upper hand in this early stage. Is it enough? That still remains to be seen. They're going to go for 7, however. Lightning Storm, Bolt, that'll kill him off before the Embrace can actually be casted. Another free snipe from 123, and Yamate is just getting an unbelievable amount of farm. Skywrath Mage is as well. He's 5, 1, and 3. He's been involved in every single kill. He's just everywhere.
I love the plays from 123. If you think about it, right, this is pretty much the same style that 123 ran last game. They ran a draft where they want to finish the game early. They want to snowball. They want to shut down the enemy's harder carries and just pretty much win it off of this. So if they can keep this pace and deny the farm to the anti-mage and even the Queen of Pain, then I could see 123 finishing this game relatively quickly and hopping into a game 3, but are they going to keep the momentum though? Is this Leshrac that's getting insanely farmed going to be enough, or is it eventually going to just knock down that tower?
I feel like the Leshrac's power level should only really be in question if Teehee was getting a lot of farm, and the anti-mage isn't. He's 4th lowest in the net worth. And that's never where an anti-mage really wants to be. That's never where any mid laner wants to be. They're try to go for Ben. Sonic Wave will be deployed. Ben will get dropped. Anti-mage is going to snag the last hit there. Minerva will also be spotted, slowed down a touch by the Arctic Burn. Anti-mage closing in. Yamate is right around the corner looking for a splitter, perhaps a turnaround. Oh, Teehee's going to go into the tower. Wow, that's bold. Into the lightning, into the Mystic Flare. He's going to get annihilated. What the hell is that play? You don't dive a tower as an anti-mage with no items. Ever. That's just not something you do. They're going to try to go for Yamate. Chain Frost will be deployed only for 1 connection. It still will kill off the Leshrac, so it's, again, TNC trading everyone else's power level for the anti-mages. But they need eventually this anti-mage to get farm. Like, the whole point of this is to use these heroes to lock down the game so that anti-mage can farm. If anti-mage is not farming, if he's actively dying, then, well, your game plan is down the tubes. Over towards mid, AU is going to be hit with a couple of poison attacks. However, it's only level 1, there's no Viper Strike. Kang is going to look to cut him off, but with no Doom, and even if he did have Doom, that shouldn't be a kill either way.
You were mentioning the play from Teehee on the anti-mage. It feels like he's trying to pioneer a new aggressive style of anti-mage. It's not working, unfortunately, but if it did, it would have been nice to see a non-just farming anti-mage, but still, he's just going to sit in lane at this point and continue on farming. I hope he goes for treads. I don't really feel that this is going to be a hand of Midas game for Teehee, just because the flow of the game, yes, an anti-mage will do very well with farm, but I feel that he needs to tank up a little bit because any sort of gank coming from 123 can really tear him to shreds. If he could just have that little bit of extra HP, then that might buy his team enough time to get either counter kills if he dies, or for him to actually participate in a fight if his team goes for those counter TPs.
Well, anti-mage finally has some sort of strength item. It's Power Treads. It's fine, I guess, as a starting point, but he's going to need to accelerate his farm by quite a bit. This safe lane should be, for the most part, where he stays. Doom, at this point, I'm not sure if he's powerful enough to Doom Teehee and take him out by himself. With the net, he actually probably is, with the instant that he ate from the Dark Troll Summoner, Dark Troll Priest? I don't know, that Dark Troll guy with the net. Bottom lane, though, Minerva's going to look to jump in onto Sam H. Fissure is there. Where's the Mystic Flare? There is no Mystic Flare. Okay, I'm pretty sure they could have killed Sam H if they just threw the flare out, but I guess a warning shot is fine as well. He still has quite a few urn charges, so it's going to cost them a little bit of mana, and not even the big chunk of mana either from that flare. So just poking and prodding, but up towards top. Hook shot in. Going to catch Kang. Teehee can't get in there, however. He's going to get Doom, but still with the right clicks. Kang is doomed to follow. There's a Mystic Flare. Teehee's taking a beating right now. He will drop to this Doom if AU doesn't deny him. He's going to try, but it won't find the range. And now they're going to try to go for AU. There is, well, Sonic Wave coming in, but that completely whiffs Sam H with the air ball, and they're going to try to chase back for Kang. Flare's going to interrupt the urn, and there's another TP that's spotted coming in, but yeah, that should have been a Doom kill, at least for TNC. Instead, they lose their anti-mage for the 4th time in this game. At a certain point, once your anti-mage dies too much, then there's just not much the rest of the team can do to hold down the fort. No one on 123 is having a similarly rough time. Down towards bottom lane, 7's going to try to go for a solo kill on a 343. That is pretty ambitious for a Winter Wyvern, even though he does have a slight level lead. That's just not going to happen from such a low damage support hero. 123 are getting the early game that they really wanted. The Doom has recovered since his rough early start versus the Clockwork, with the Hand of Midas working for himself. Plus now they have a mech on this Viper. They have level 10 on the Leshrac. Once they get that, then they can look to take down these towers.
I cannot stop thinking about that greedy Sonic Wave from Sam H. He was hoping to connect onto both heroes, but just the cone was not wide enough. He will get a solo kill onto the Earthshaker, which is going to be nice. Sam H is getting more and more farm. But is this an Ags game, Ags first game for Sam H, or would you think maybe a Orchid will do his team some justice?
He's got to go for the Ags. If there's ever a point where this Queen of Pain is not fully fit and ready to fight, then TNC just cannot fight then, and then 123 will be able to take whatever objective they want. Aghanim Scepter seems like the only viable option right now. Okay, well, Power Treads is fine. I will allow Power Treads, I'll grant that. But yeah, Sam H needs to have that Sonic Wave just on the lower cooldown. Extra damage is a bonus at this point. He just has to have that up at all times to try to get a single pick off and try to delay 123 from making their push. The push isn't coming just yet because, again, Leshrac doesn't have quite enough in the way of levels, but he's working on that Bloodstone. It's coming up pretty darn rapidly. 13 minutes in, having a Soul Booster is already quite a lot for a Leshrac, and Doom even has more farm than him. With 2,000 gold, it looks like this Doom may be closing in on a Blink Dagger as his first item.
I suspect it would be the Blink Dagger, just so that the Doom has a way of actually getting into the fights, because Doom's main problem as a hero is he has no way to get into the middle of the fight. So Blink Dagger pretty much solves his problem. He just blink in, just throws the end snare, and just goes for the Doom, and it shuts down any hero. Now he's going to sit in the tree line first. Are there going to be TPs from 1, 2, 3? They could definitely go for a kill, but there are 3 heroes. It's going to be 2 though, because Winter Wyvern's going to go for a TP up in that top lane. There's going to be a hook shot only onto Minerva. They have thrown the ultimate from the Lich. It's only bounced on a couple of heroes. They want to focus down Ben because they've thrown down the Winter's Curse, and looks like this is going to be the Viper isolated in the middle of the team fight. But look at the Winter Wyvern. He's actually trying to heal himself up, but unfortunately you're not going to heal yourself up with Yamate there, and that's 3 heroes dead there for TNC. And a final 4 as Sam H gets picked off down in that bottom lane. Did Kang really 2v1?
I don't know if the anti-mage was there the entire time, but he at least 1v1'd, and still that's good enough for the Doom. Now going to grab his Shadow Blade, so it's the perhaps a little bit more patient item, a little bit more aggressive item than the Blink Dagger. So either way is going to let Kang get in there with the Doom, and that's really what he needs. Leshrac just cleaning house up towards top. That should give him his Bloodstone. There it is, being delivered, and unfortunately didn't have that while that fight was going on, so he couldn't get any charges, but still now he will look to get those charges. With the Edict level 1 as well, he can look to take down the towers. Yeah, I don't know what happened in that bottom lane, but I can only assume Queen of Pain maybe got into a fight that she shouldn't have gotten into, and Kang beat her down. He's dealing 100 damage a pop, and he will be doing that damage a lot faster once he grabs the Shadow Blade. But over towards mid, it's a really easy push here from the 123 side. Ben dropping in the last fight, like, that's fine for 123. If the Viper is the only one to be taking the focus, that's actually ideal for 123. That's exactly what they want.
Middle tower has fallen.
Because that's his job, right? He's just a Viper. He just has to throw the Viper Strike and the mechanism, and that's it. His job is done. He's just a creep that hurts. So the fact that TNC focused down Ben, they get some gold, but it's not much. So what's the plan for both teams for now? TNC, they're still trying to buy time for the anti-mage. They still have this Queen of Pain trying to farm up the Aghanim Scepter. He went for this Midas, right? And he's died a couple of times. Is this Aghanim Scepter still coming at a decent timing, or do you think it's starting to get a little bit late considering the Midas?
I'm pretty sure he has to go for it anyway. IU is going to have to hookshot out of here, but it's too late. Gets sealed up and, well, more or less perma-stunned to death. Okay, that was a little bit unnecessary from 343, but they get the kill anyway. I guess he just really wanted to get that last hit before any sort of response Sonic Wave could come in. Plus, him using that got him the last hit, so he's a little bit closer to the Blink Dagger, so that's fine, I suppose. They'll slide down to the bottom lane, and will this tower get him his Blink? It'll be really close, and this tower is not really defendable by TNC. Even with the extra armor, they're going to catch Noji right now with Mystic Flare Fissure. That's a very dead Lich. From so far away, they get the kill. That's going to guarantee this tower push. They also have 7 actually rotating in. Has a curse. Oh no, never mind. That is from the other freaking team. Where's Kang? He's up towards top. He's with the Shadow Blade. Okay, I was like, something's going on here. This Winter Wyvern should not be going to that tower like that. But apparently, I'm on crack.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Oh man, but the killing potential for 123 is massive. And TNC, they can't survive through it anymore. They've got heroes that are too squishy, that were doing fine for a while, but because 123 are starting to snowball beyond the point of return, I don't think TNC can actually come back. Even though they got this anti-mage, look at his farm. 1.3k gold, and it's 17 minutes into the game. Power Treads, Bottle, Wand. Your anti-mage is not in a good position. I think the only way that Teehee could probably participate in a team fight is just wait for the Leshrac or the Scarith Mage to really drop down in mana. Oh god.
Doom onto Sam H. He's definitely going to fall. That Mystic Flare was fantastic, by the way, but it was completely unneeded. It was just Minerva showing off, yeah, we can kill you off, while I waste this ultimate at the exact same time. It's a free 2 kill for the 123 side, and now some sort of other objective should be falling right now. Ben is perhaps in a bad position right now with no TP out for another 10 seconds. There's no aggressive rotation here from TNC because the only 2 heroes that can make any sort of aggressive play, they're dead. The Clockwork and the Queen of Pain. So, you know, don't have to worry about the Winter Wyvern or the Lich as a Viper. You could take those 2 on 2v1 and be just fine. So, this game, yeah, for TNC, it's going to have to involve a really good Sonic Wave every single time. Mana Void is level 2, and up against a Leshrac with such a deep mana pool, there is potential here for a lot of spill damage if 123 clump up a lot. But that's just like so many things that have to go right for TNC, and for 123 they have a Blink Dagger now and Shaker. They have a super tanky Leshrac with a Viper. They have a Doom who should be looking for these initiations pretty much every single time. If they keep on getting these initiations, then TNC don't have a chance. TNC have to start something with the Clockwork. I don't see them succeeding if anything else happens.
Either the Clockwork or they have to force a weird engagement by 123 and just kind of cut them off. I could definitely see that happening, but look at 123's positioning. They've got their 2 supports in their tree line waiting just in case something might go wrong, and they just have Ben and Yamate wailing on that tower, and TNC, they do not want to have anything to do with them. They're just carrying in base. They're waiting for the high ground push, but 123, they don't have to push if they don't want to because there's still a lot of towers that they can actually take down.
And Roshan as well. They don't have a medallion, I don't think. They have a Glimmer Cape on the Scarith Mage, that's pretty good. But yeah, no medallion, so no extra damage towards that Roshan. A medallion, like, aggressively in this game seems pretty mediocre. Even defensively seems extremely mediocre, so I would understand if they don't go for that one. Yet, despite that, with the tankiness of the Doom, having the Viper with the mech, they do also have the Shrac's damage, so killing off Roshan is definitely a possibility here for the 123 side. Hookshot into Yamate, however, he has backup incoming. Fissure's going to wall him off, and the Mystic Flare drops squarely onto AU with the Blink, Echo Summon to the backline. That's going to be a huge amount of damage towards Noji. The Chain Frost gets deployed, but doesn't do actually too much damage. Yamate now going to charge forward. They got the Doom onto Sand Mage, he's guaranteed to fall, and now they're trying to go for this Winter Wyvern. Fissure, Split Earth, anything? Blink forward, looking for the Enchant Totem Sun, gets it, but where's the follow-up here? Fissure, one more hit, there we go. Shaker going to get the kill by himself. That's a quick 3 kill for 123, and that was Yamate to get initiated upon. Yet here he is sitting at full HP, taking down the tier 2 tower and going for a little bit more even. Ben has used the mech to kind of mitigate that, but now at this point TNC are they're definitely on the ropes right now. I don't even know if they can kill Yamate. Even if he is completely out of mana with the Mana Void, he has so much extra gold. He could instantly buy out and travel in if needed, or he could look to buy something like a BKB, in which case, like, what do TNC do then?
Can we give Kang a medal? This guy has been on Sam H's tail all game. Every time we see the potential of a 5-on-5 engagement, Kang's there with the Doom on the Queen of Pain. Sam H can't do anything this game. And it's 21 minutes into the game, and he's still trying to farm up that Aghanim Scepter. He's really deterred the farm of that Queen of Pain. This Doom is really helping out his team. The fact that Queen of Pain can't come online means that TNC's chances of coming back is becoming slimmer and slimmer.
I don't know if I would give him a medal, but I would definitely give him a promotion. Like, it's nice that he's obviously going for this Queen of Pain, but at the same time, as Doom, what else are you going to do? There's no point in dooming a Clockwork once the hook shot's in. Lich is not a threat, Winter Wyvern is not a threat, Anti-Mage has no farm. So it's like, there's only one thing you can do. Good job. Yeah, promotion's fine, you don't need, like, national recognition.
You're so harsh, Mike.
Hey, you don't...
It's okay, you're gonna get wrecked by Twitch. Cool.
No, Twitch will agree with me. You don't hand out medals for that. If he, like, valiantly force-staffed into the way of a hookshot, thereby saving Yamate, then he deserves a Medal of Valor. Maybe okay, posthumous Medal of Valor, but no, this guy's just doing solid work. He's gonna get promoted. Give him a medal. His family's gonna eat well tonight.
You'll see he makes the play today, and you'll see that medal.
He doesn't have a force staff, though, so it's impossible.
It's fine to be jealous. It's fine to be jealous. It's fine.
Well,
so we're gonna see a high
has one goal. You just doom the Queen of Pain because there's no one else who's a threat. Sam H, oh, he's gonna blink out of there. This is where Shadowblade on Doom gets a little bit worse when you're actively pushing the enemy's high ground, but it doesn't seem like that really matters. Kang's gonna get frozen in place. Sonic Wave's gonna connect, hit onto Ben as well, but does next to nothing. Noji's gonna get picked off in the sidelines. The Chain Frost does barely any damage. You can't even tell if there was a Chain Frost used in this fight since the regen is super high on the Viper and the Doom. This Mikelorus is going to fall, and that Miracle team fight that we were talking about, it's not going to happen for another 2 minutes at least, because the Queen of Pain no longer has a Sonic Wave. So they walk in, claim the Raxes, There's double sentry ward on the ground for TNC just so they could see the fact that their racks are being destroyed. And that's just about that. 22-7, 123 should be able to be, shift up to any lane, or shift down to any lane, I suppose, or any objective and just take what they want.
I think just take Roshan and then just go right down one of the lanes, probably bottom. Scarif Mage is going to get a kill onto EU on that Clockwork, and what can TNC do? They want to go for the counter plays, but they're also scared about getting picked off. Instead, they're just going to call the GG. The game, I don't think they would have been able to come back at all this game, honestly. They were just too far behind. Teehee had no farm on that anti-mage. They would have had to drag the game maybe 2 hours to get the anti-mage enough farm.
I definitely don't want to be sitting in that game. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun, but I think, yeah, the anti-mage mid lane selection, that was, obviously I'm not completely on board with that. My God, why do I keep on doing this? Obviously not completely on board with that one, personally, but I think it was also, TNC didn't expect the anti-mage to go up against a Leshrac with so much participation from the Skywrath Mage and Earthshaker. They were camping that mid lane. Well, Skywrath Mage is camping everywhere, let's be honest, but they were camping that mid lane really hard. They were actively going for kills in the anti-mage. If it is anti-mage Lich versus Leshrac, then the lane is actually decent. Like, it's still not great for the anti-mage, but it's a situation where you can get some farm. But going with anti-mage versus that many aggressive stunners and silences and everything, like, he just was doomed to fail from the start. It just wasn't going to happen.
It's just the pressure. I really liked how they put pressure on the anti-mage, never giving him any sort of chance to come back into that lane, and also just during the mid game as well, you knew that 1, 2, 3, they learned their lesson from last game. They said, okay, we have the snowball, you cannot make mistakes. We've got to focus down on these heroes because these are going to be the momentum heroes to make space for the anti-mage. So Sam H, he never got off the ground at all as the Queen of Pain. He just got pretty much kicked down every time he went up a ladder. And the Clockwork did everything that he had to do, but if
There's
it's
no
just a
follow-up.
Clockwork, yeah, exactly. When you don't have the follow-up, the Clockwork is just an initiator and then he's a suicide bomb. So
This is where, like, you want the Lich or the Winter Wyvern to be a Skywrath Mage, right? So then you could actually get the combo off, hookshot in, drop the flare, get
Maybe
the kill,
even Alina.
walk away. Yeah, or Alina.
Alina would have been good as well as a support Lina. I would have liked to see that too, but I was still interesting for those 2 supports, but maybe they had a plan but it just didn't work. Who knows?
So TNC need a little bit more action in the early game, perhaps, if they're going to take Game 3, which is where the series is going to go, guys. 123 going to take Game 2, and that means we're going to go to the 3rd and final game of the match. We'll see who can close out and who can advance. This is an elimination game, mind you. So I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Danny, and we'll both be right back for Game 3 between TNC and 123.